The Minnesota Timberwolves have swept the Phoenix Suns, as everyone knows. I want to go out and say this first. It was the one matchup Phoenix did not want to have this early, first off. It was the worst matchup for them. A, they don't have the bigs. They weren't athletic enough to match up with Minnesota. Yes, do they have the guard play? The guard play was not the issue. And I'm so happy and I'm so glad, which no one's shocked at Book having 49, KD having 33. Yes, Brad struggled the last game, but Brad still did what he did, what he needs to do. And understandably so, Brad was guarding the best player every single game. And people don't understand, back in Washington, Brad was a two-way player. He was probably one of the few two-way players out there. And shout out to Brad for doing that. But it was the worst matchup for Minnesota. The last game was a tell-all. Book, Brad, and KD, they gave everything they had. Book had 49, KD had 33. What more can they do? They literally can't. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, they just weren't big enough. They weren't athletic enough. It was a very impressive performance by Minnesota. Super impressive. I mean, the scariest thing about them, they sit down and they fucking guard. They guard. And down the line, Mike Conley sitting down, Cat guarded KD damn near the whole series, even though, like Ant said, he got to stop fucking fouling. But they were playing unbelievable defense. Jaden McDaniels, he doing shit people didn't even know he could do. He doing spin move, turnaround J's and shit. I'm like, oh my goodness. Nas Reed, shout out to Nas. Came on Run Your Race early this year, ended up winning 6 Man of the Year. So if you want to run 6 Man of the Year or be on All NBA, come get on Run Your Race. That's what we do. But Nas, shout out to you. You out there balling. Nikhil Alexander, he out there balling. He got slow-mo. I mean, Minnesota's scary. I don't need to talk about Ant. Y'all already know about Ant. He had 9 points at halftime. He had 9 points at halftime and ended with 40. Come on now, that shit is nuts. But Minnesota's a scary team. And it was the worst matchup for Phoenix. I think Phoenix would have made some noise in any other series, but Minnesota was the one team that I don't think they matched up well with. And Ant said it. Ant said it before the season started. He said, I think we match up good with Phoenix. And they did. The biggest thing with this Phoenix situation, people are going to say coaches should be changed. Ain't nothing wrong with the coach. People are going to say players should be changed. Yes, some players, they just need to add some fucking athleticism at the big. It was the bottom line. They weren't athletic enough at the 5 position. Nurkic is a good big. It's just nothing he could do with Rudy Gobert. He wasn't athletic. He couldn't finish around the rim with Rudy. If you coming off a ball screen with Devin Booker or Kevin Durant, and you got to watch out for Rudy, you got to watch out for a lob threat at the rim, it changes a lot. It really does, in my opinion. Think about if Clint Capella was with the fucking Phoenix Suns. Jesus. Are we serious? Motherfucker would have been dunking on Rudy's head. But also, they probably needed a point guard at the end of the day. They need a fucking point guard. What that is, everyone's like, listen, you don't really understand how much you need a point guard till you don't really fucking have one. And they didn't have one. It looked like fucking they were just out there playing pickup. Even though they could. They still had 50 and 35. But